Okay, hello, good evening. Hello, Jaden. Apparently there's only you currently. All right, so good evening. Where's the others? I don't know. All right, usually we have like last week there was only one or so. Okay, I don't know where everyone went these few weeks. All right, anyway, we are going to do chapter 12 today. Yeah, we are the only one. I believe they are coming lah. Okay, it's just that you know my students are usually not punctual. I don't know why, for some reason. All right, so last week I actually finished chapter 11. Okay, I don't know whether have you received the video I sent you. Have you requested? You were absent last week, right? I think one of you requested. I don't know, is it you, wait, let me check. I'm not too sure, because I actually sent this thing out. Is it? Yeah. I think you requested. Oh yeah, I sent it to you already. Send it to your email already. So please make sure you check your email. All right. Anyway, yes, hello. Jason, hello. So, oh yeah, last week there was only you. Okay, so yes, so there's two. I don't know where's the rest lah. Anyway, we finished chapter 11. Okay, so Jaden, please check your email. Okay, it's already there. And if you don't find my video in the email, please check your spam mail. I don't know why when I send video to y'all the video like to drop it under spam one. I don't know, maybe I'm a spam. I don't know. Anyway, let's go into chapter 12 today. Okay, chapter 12 is yes, two students. Okay, so happy. Okay, so let's go to chapter 12 today. Okay, very interesting stuff. Let's go to sound. Okay, so let's go to our sound. I believe we can finish our syllabus in August though. I'm not sure yet. Okay, I'll try my best. All right, so let's look at unit 12, sound. All right, so this is also quite a short chapter. Very interesting stuff. Okay, very interesting thing to see here. And that's it's a very easy chapter, by the way. It's a very easy chapter. So just in case you haven't realized, last week chapter 11, the speed chapter is only 3 pages. Very easy stuff. Okay, so this week's stuff is the same. All right, so let's look at sound. Okay, let's look at unit 2. So what is sound? Okay, what is a sound? So sound is produced from vibration. All right, whenever you have vibration, you will create sound. Okay, so sound is from vibration. All right, so an object moving to and fro about a fixed point is called a vibration. All right, what does it mean? That means at a fixed point, an object come back and forth, back and forth, back and forth like that. That's what we call a vibration. All right, next time when you go year 10, when you learn it in physics, we don't call it a vibration. We can also call it an oscillation. Okay, oscillation. You know what's an oscillation? You know pendulum? You know pendulum? That's an oscillation. So oscillation will create sound. Okay, so vibration is and oscillation is the same thing lah. Okay, so an object vibrates. Okay, moving at a point, we call it vibration. So vibration of an object produces a wave. The wave is called a sound wave. All right, so the concept is like this. Okay, you take a vibrating object. Okay, let's say there's a motor vibrating. You put it in water. Okay, let's say there's a pool of water. Let's say this is a pool of water. You put a motor here. Okay, let's say the motor is vibrating here. Your water will start producing that wave. Right, your water will go like that. So that's the wave lah. So you see, vibration creates water wave. So in air, vibration creates sound wave. All right, so when they vibrate, they will create a sound. So this is a sound wave. All right, so sound waves need to travel through a medium, solid, liquid, and gas. Okay, please highlight this point. Very important. So sound cannot travel through vacuum. Okay, sound cannot travel through vacuum. it needs a medium. Okay, what does it mean, a medium? Medium is like a bridge. Okay, medium is like a bridge. That means let's say you have a speaker. Okay, let's say if you have a speaker, and you put your ear here, so sound will come to you, right? You will hear the sound, right? So in the middle here, this is your medium. All right, the middle is the medium. So you need a solid in between. Let's say you put a stick here, or you need liquid, you put a cup of water here, or you put air. Okay, you put air here, so you will hear something. All right, so guys, you will not hear any sound in vacuum. This is why when you go to outer space, do you know the sun explodes all the time? Guys, sun will explode all the time. That is what we call solar flare. Do you know what's a solar flare? Do you know sun? Our sun is not a very stable star. Star is never stable. Our sun, time to time, they will explode. They have like, you know, thousands of explosions on their surface. So why don't we hear anything? Because in space, it's vacuum. You don't hear anything in space. So guys, Star Wars makes no physical sense. All right, when you watch Star Wars, you hear the pew 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 thing, you won't hear anything in space. Okay, it should be silent. All right, but if they used if Star Wars they make it silent, then it wouldn't be a very interesting movie already, isn't it? Because your movie will be silent. Okay, nobody wants to watch a silent movie. All right, but it makes a lot of sense. Okay, so there you go. Sound cannot travel through vacuum. They need a medium. All right, so sound travels at different speed through different medium. It travels the fastest in solid, slower in liquid, the slowest in gas. Right? Why? Because you learned this in year 7. This is because particles are very close together in solid, further away in liquid, very far away in gas. So what does it mean? Okay, so this is solid. Okay, so this is solid. So from sound to go from here to here is very fast because you see, just knock, 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 you can pass the sound through. So this is why sound in solid, they transfer very fast. Okay, they transfer very fast. That means okay, you ask someone, okay, let's say you're at home, right? You ask someone to go to your main entrance, okay, the front door of your house, you go to the back door, okay, you go to behind your house, you put your ear on the ground, and if you ask the person to step on the ground, immediately you will hear something. All right, this is why. Okay, solid, they transfer sound very quickly, whereas liquid, they are a bit further already. So to transfer sound, they are slightly slower. And then gas, since they are so far apart, right? They are so far apart. That's why transfer in gas, it's the slowest. Okay, really, really slow because gas, they need to travel very far to pass the message. So this is why in gas, you will hear something called echo. You know what is echo? You find an empty cave or an empty space, you shout, you hear like echo, like Why is that an echo? Echo is a delay. Okay, echo is a delay. Why is there a delay? Because your sound is very slow in air. All right, so this is why you shout in the cave. Sound they transfer very slow because in the cave there's air, and sound is the slowest in air. That's why you hear echo. Okay, you know it's echo, right? In Mandarin it's called 回音. So that's your echo lah. Okay, so you get what I mean, Anyway, so let's move on. Okay, let's do this very simple experiment. Let's look at this very simple experiment. So when there's a bell jar here, okay, imagine this is a bell jar, this is a glass, and then you have a bell inside. So when you first switch it on, okay, there's air here, okay, there's air here, and then there's air here. All right, so the sound of the bell can be heard because there is a medium, which is the air in the bell jar. So there's air. Like I said, air needs a medium. It needs a bridge to travel. So there's air here, right? Okay, there's air here, right? So we can hear something, you can hear the bell. All right, so this proves that a medium is required for the propagation of sound wave. Okay, what is propagation. Propagation means traveling. Okay, sound waves they travel from the bell to your ear. That is propagation. That is traveling. So we hear something. All right, so when I switch on my vacuum pump, imagine now I switch on my vacuum pump. I start to suck air out. I suck air out of this jar, and now inside it become vacuum. Okay, slowly this thing become vacuum. So when air is pumped out completely, okay, when there's no more air, there is no medium in the bell jar. Okay, now there's no more air, no more medium. The sound of the bell cannot be heard at all. So there's no more sound because sound waves cannot travel through vacuum. So inside vacuum, you don't hear anything. All right, so this is why if you go to outer space, any explosion, anything you won't hear because sound doesn't travel through vacuum. All right, can you understand? So what can we learn from here? Sound needs a medium. I don't care whether it's solid, liquid, or gas, it needs a medium to travel. Without a medium, without air, without liquid, without solid, you cannot hear anything. Okay, air cannot travel through vacuum. Okay, understand? Really easy stuff. So let's look at our sound wave. Okay, let's come to the technical side. Okay, let's learn about something technical. Okay, so let's learn about sound wave. Guys, you will be learning this in physics next time. Okay, of course in detail. Now we are just learning the surface. So next time in I think in year 11 or year 10, you'll be learning this. Okay, but you know what? Let's look at the surface. Let's look at the easy part first. So two characteristics of the wave that can be seen in the sound wave are the amplitude and the wavelength. Okay, please highlight these two words. Okay, please highlight these two words. All right, so amplitude and wavelength. Okay, let's look at this wave. Let's look at this wave. So, do you know how many wave is here? Do you know how many wave is here? One wave is up and down. So, this is considered one wave. Okay, so one up and one down is considered one wave. So, you have two waves here. Can you see? 1, 2. That is considered two waves. All right, makes sense, right? One up, one down, that's one wave. So how high the wave can go, it's the amplitude. Okay, it's the amplitude. So the amplitude is the maximum displacement of a particle. Maximum displacement. Okay, that means how far they can go. Guys, amplitude is the same. If this is 2 cm here, it's also 2 cm here. It's impossible you see 3 cm here, 2 cm here. No, it will always be the same. So as long as you found the amplitude here, it will be the same here. So it's the same. Okay, so that's the maximum displacement. That's how far it can travel. Okay, that's the maximum displacement. All right, so what does amplitude decide? Okay, what does amplitude decide? Okay, this is a sound wave, right? So amplitude this determines the loudness of a sound. Okay, it determines the loudness. All right, so loudness of a sound depends on its amplitude. Very easy. You see, sometimes when you talk to a mic, when you connect mic to a screen, the one with the wave, when you shout, can you see the wave like go bigger? That's the amplitude. And then when you whisper like that, you talk soft, the wave is like smaller. So the higher it is, okay, the bigger the amplitude, the louder it is. All right, so if you want, you can write it down. Amplitude equals to loudness. All right, so when you are playing with the volume, let's say you are in a car, you are adjusting the volume, you are adjusting the amplitude. So loud volume, big amplitude, small volume, small amplitude. Okay, so if I shout like that, so amplitude very big. If I just talk like that, then the amplitude is really small. Okay, understand? So the higher the amplitude of the sound waves, the louder the sound. All right, and of course, when it comes to sound, when it comes to loudness, we don't use amplitude, we use the word decibel. Okay, we use the word dB, decibel. Have you heard of this? Have you heard of decibel? Guys, any of you heard of decibel? Yes, Regent, hello. Good evening. Wow, you're so late. Okay, we are in chapter 12. We're in chapter 12. Guys, just a quick question. Have you guys received your physical notes? Have you guys received your physical notes? You should receive them by last week, I guess. Okay, so I hope you receive yours. Because if you haven't, please let me know. I can send you the soft copy. I will send you the soft copy because sometimes it's lost on the way. I also don't know why. Okay, but it will be sent to you. I hope. All right, so guys, you have the notes. Please tell me you have the notes. Are you guys still there? Okay, please tell me you have the notes. All right, so we are halfway through here. Okay, let me repeat this. So the amplitude of the sound determines the loudness, determines how loud the sound is. All right, so loudness depends on the amplitude. So the higher the amplitude, the louder the sound. All right, so loudness is measured in decibel. Okay, I will talk about this later. That's the decibel. Okay, that's the decibel. Anything louder than 80 or 90 decibel, that is like the safety limit already. Anything louder than this, it's not very good for your ear. You will damage your ear in long term. All right, so we want, soft noise. Okay, soft sound. We don't want anything loud. Something loud, it's not very comfortable for our ear. All right, I'll talk about it later. Okay, so loudness is measured in decibel, but amplitude is measured in cm. Okay, amplitude is measured in cm. So amplitude equals to loudness. So measure this in cm. So as you can see, output power low, softer sound, amplitude low. This is when you see small amplitude, soft sound. If I talk like that, then my sound is like this. All right. But if I talk like this, then my amplitude is like this. Okay, can you understand? Loud sound, high amplitude. Okay, you understand? So right, so let's look at the next one. So what is wavelength? What is the wavelength? So you see, from here to here, if you study coordinates, guys, do you study coordinates in maths? Okay, so the y-axis, this is the amplitude. What about the x? The length of one wave, okay, like I told you just now, right? Here to here is one wave, right? Okay, one wave, right? And then another wave. So the length of one wave, okay, up, down is one wave, so the length of one wave, that's the wavelength. So you see, very easy. You can measure either here to here, or top to top, or bottom to bottom. Up to you, you will get the same reading. Let's say this is 5 cm here, same thing 5 cm here, same thing 5 cm here. You will get the same reading. Okay, so that's the wavelength. Okay, so do not get confused. Wavelength is how long the wave is. Amplitude is how high the wave is. Okay, so let me write this here. Wavelength is how long. Amplitude is how high. Okay, high, long. So that's your wavelength. So the wavelength is the length between two top or two bottom points. Okay, so either two top or two bottom. Basically a wave lah. Okay, the length of one wave, right? So wavelength is related to the frequency. Okay, this is another unit I want you to know. That's the frequency. So what is frequency? Frequency is the number of vibration per second. Okay, this is very important. Wait, guys, look here. Look here. A frequency of 20 hertz. Okay, by the way, we use hertz. Hertz is the unit. Hertz is the unit. Okay, hertz is the unit. Any of you guys game? Any of you play games? Do you know what is FPS? Okay, do you know what's the FPS of your screen? All right. When it comes to shooting game, you want a high FPS monitor. Okay, high refresh rate. So when you buy monitor, you will hear the term, oh, this monitor is 60 hertz. This monitor is 120 hertz, 144 hertz. You got 10 hertz, wow, 10 hertz, then your screen sucks already. Okay, because the thing is so laggy. Okay, in gaming term, we say FPS, 20 FPS, 60 FPS. Okay, and if you play like competitive game, okay, let's say you play shooting game, you want 120 FPS, right? FPS is the frequency lah. That means how many frames are you getting? If you are using, like, okay, let's say like Jaden, you say 120, right? 120 FPS, that means 120 hertz. 120 hertz, that means every second you see 120 frames. That means the motion is very smooth, right? I'm sure you can tell the difference between 60 and 120, right? If you play games using 60, it's okay lor, not bad lor. But once you go 120, you're like, wow, why is it so smooth? Once you go 120, go back to 60. Yeah, yes, exactly. It's like trash. Your phone also like that, what? Your phone also like that, what? Do you know most phone nowadays, they are 144 hertz, 120 or 144 hertz lah. Once you go 144, okay, if you use a new phone, let's say you use a iPhone 13 or you use Samsung S20 or S22, okay, once you use 120 hertz, when you go back to 60, let's say your friend use 60 or your mom use 60, you use their phone, you're like, why is the phone so potato one? It feels like the phone is like a potato, right? Same thing. I thought it didn't matter. I thought it didn't matter until I changed my monitor to 144. Wow, goodness me, my eyes, I cannot go back already. Once I use 144, okay, once I use 144, I go back to use 60, it's like, wow, this is like potato. My eyes, like, it hurts, okay? So much difference, all right? So it matters. So this is frequency lah. This is frequency. So 20 frequency, 20 hertz or 20 FPS, okay? So you see people who play games, they say FPS because they don't study science, okay? The real word is 20 hertz, all right? 20 hertz, that means the particles vibrate 20 times per second. You get 20 frames per second, FPS. All right, so if it's 120 hertz, that means you get 120 vibrations per second, 120 frames per second, FPS lah. All right, so guys, please highlight this. The shorter the wavelength, the higher the frequency. That means the shorter it is, the more frequent it is. The higher its frequency. You see, this is like long wavelength, right? So the frequency is very low. Okay, frequency is very low. So what does it mean by frequency? All right, think of it this way. What is frequency? Frequency is how often you do something. Okay, let's say you go to the library 3 times per week. That is also, okay, quite frequent. If you go to the library once every day, that is even more frequent. You see, can you see this is very frequent? Frequency very high, cost very frequent. I do this a lot of times. Whereas this one, I only do it rarely. I rarely do it, so the frequency is very low. So can you get what I'm trying to say? So if the wavelength is very high, then the frequency is very low. If the wavelength is very short, then the frequency is very high. All right. So what does it determine? Okay, you might say, sir, why do we care about frequency? Remember just now, amplitude decides the loudness, right? Amplitude decides the loudness, right? So frequency will decide the pitch. Pitch, you know what's a pitch? 高音低音 as in you're a guy, I hope, okay, you're a guy, right? Do you have deep voice? I'm sure most of you have deep voice, right? Okay, you are 14 this year, maybe not deep enough, but you have deeper voice than a girl, right? I mean, if you don't, then you should go and see doctor already, okay? Because it makes you really gay, okay? Anyway, so as a guy, you have deeper voice. Why? Because you have low frequency. You see, low frequency, low pitch. Okay, you might say, sir, why do we have deep voice? Why do guys have deep voice? Because our sound box is very thick. As a guy, you have very thick sound box. You might say, why do we have thick sound box? Because we have male hormones. You have balls, right? You have testicles, right? Now your balls will produce a male hormone that makes your voice thicken. Okay, your voice box will thicken, so you have deep voice. Okay, this is why girls they like deep voice lah, cause deep voice very manly ma. You don't have maybe not yet lah. Okay, maybe when you are 18. Okay, you cut off show me where you cut off. So you get what I mean lah. I'm sure your dad has deep voice too. Okay, girls will find deep voice very manly. because it's a sign of manliness. Okay, I'm sure your dad is a manly person, so your dad has deep voice too. All right. So girls, on the other hand, they have high frequency because their voice box is very small, so that's why they speak in a very high pitch. Okay, so this is why, guys, this is why your range of pitch, let's say you go sing, okay, you go to karaoke, you go sing K with your friend, okay, your range of voice is never the same as the range of girls, right? Let's say a girl is singing like G key. Any of you learn music here? Any of you learn music here? So if a girl is singing in G key, G pitch, you can never sing that voice. Unless you are very talented, okay? But I don't think so, because most of us guys, we cannot sing a girl's pitch. All right? You try and sing any girl song, you cannot sing one because it's not your pitch. All right? Similarly, a girl usually cannot sing a guy's pitch because it's different pitch. Our pitch is lower. Our pitch is very bassy. Okay? You know what's a bass, right? The tum, tum, tum. That's the bass, right? Our voice is very bassy. Okay? Whereas girls' voice is very trebly. You know what is treble? Guys, any of you know what is treble and bass? Do you play with speakers? All right? When you adjust a speaker, when you adjust the treble, that means you're adjusting the high pitch. Okay, the singing voice and the or the high pitch, and we're adjusting the bass. You're adjusting the tum 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 tum. You're adjusting the bass. Okay, so I'm sure you know this lah. So this is why okay, this is the same. If you look at instruments, if you look at string instruments, you have violin, you have viola, you have cello, and you have double bass. So if you look at violin is the highest pitch one because it's very high frequency. Okay, when you play violin, it's like that very high voice, a very high pitch one. And then when you play double bass or cello, it's a very deep voice. Okay, very deep, very low pitch, very low frequency. Same goes to piano. Okay, your keyboard, the keyboard of a piano, if you go to the left side is the low. Okay, the bass clef, where the bass clef is. All right, and then the high side is where the treble clef is. You get what I mean, right? So that's the high pitch and the low pitch, lah. Okay, so frequency determines your pitch. Okay, so as you can see here, long wavelength, low frequency, so low pitch. This is a very bassy sound. So like that, it's like that, very low pitch. Whereas this one, okay, short wavelength, high frequency, so high pitch. This is like okay, I mean I can shout at a higher pitch lah, because I'm a guy. All right, so when you shout like that, that's the pitch. Okay, so guys, the take home point for today is amplitude is how high it is, wavelength is how long it is. All right, amplitude determines the loudness, how loud a sound is. Frequency determines the pitch of a sound. Right? Okay, understand? Can understand? This part, guys, this part is really, I don't know about you, this part is really interesting. They're really interesting and really easy. Okay. Hey, do you know there's a job called a sound engineer? Do you know what's a sound engineer? Okay, so there are many types of engineers. So if you are interested in studying about sound, you can become a sound engineer. So what is a sound engineer? You do many things. Let's say they want to build an orchestra hall. That's your job. You study the acoustic of a hall. Any of you have been to an orchestra before? Have you been to the MPO? Anyone? I'm going to the MPO this week. Okay, there's I mean I missed it a lot. Okay, okay, not this. Okay, Malaysia Philharmonic Orchestra. Okay, have you been here before? Have you been here before? Hey, lately they are selling one show. They are selling one orchestra show about anime one eh. Okay, hey, this is really interesting. So guys, this is your orchestra hall. Okay, hey, so you see why are they constructed this way? Can you see what anime? I think they you go and do. I think they sold off already. I think they sold off already. Ticketing. Okay, my wife asked me whether I want to go, but we couldn't get it. I'm going to this Vivaldi one this week, and then Are there symphonic anime? I think they include Naruto also. Naruto, One Piece, and anything from what's the name again? I forgot lah. So it's like a okay. I think they sold off already. I don't think you can get any tickets anymore. Okay, so this is the orchestra. Sold out lah. Yeah, sold out. Okay, sold out. So any of you interested in orchestra? Okay, guys, if you have been to an orchestra hall before, why are they constructed this way? Can you see it's full of wood? Can you see it's full of wood? Because wood, they make a lot of acoustic sense. You know what's acoustic? You know what's an acoustic guitar? Acoustic means something to do with sound. All right. So I'm sure if you have been to a normal hall before, I'm sure your school has a hall, right? I'm sure your school has a hall, right? And when you go to a hall, if you are alone in the hall, it has a lot of echo, right? You talk, you can hear your own self's echo. Why? Because your school hall, is not designed with acoustic criteria. That means if this orchestra were to go to your school hall to perform, it will sound like shit. Okay? Hey, orchestra cannot simply play anywhere one, They need a hall. They need a Philharmonic orchestra hall, which looks like this. All right? You go to any orchestra hall, they more or less look the same one. Okay? They are made of wood, all right? And they are made in such a way that when the orchestra they play on stage, you can hear the sound just nice. There's no echo, no nothing. And when you are inside that hall, it's usually very quiet. Okay, you don't hear echo or anything. Okay, because it is designed to let you enjoy, with the maximum pleasure. Okay, what if everyone shout? They will kick you out of the hall. Okay, so this is why, guys, have you been to a concert before? Have you been to a concert before? I don't know whether you have lah, but going to a concert, it's not really a very pleasant experience. Like, yeah, sure, it's very happy, it's very high, but when it comes to listening to your artist, okay, let's say you are going to, okay, my wife is going to Justin Bieber this year end, I think, okay, around October lah. All right, so if you have been to any concert, it's not a very fun experience when it comes to your ear, because the sound is usually very loud. You hear everyone shouting, okay, and you usually can't listen to your idol singing, okay, because they are in a stadium. Stadium is horrible in terms of acoustic. Okay, they are not designed to transmit sound. Okay, because stadium is for you to watch sports, what. So if you go to watch concert, it will sound like shit one. Okay, but if you go and watch orchestra, it's very different story. Okay, yes, okay, design for quantity, exactly. Any of you been to an orchestra before, guys? Have you been to an orchestra? Okay, more money, yeah, more money, yes, Jaden, you make, okay, you got it. Okay, any of you been to orchestra before? Guys, if you sit in the front row, I've been there once, front row, because front row is very hard to buy. If you sit in the front row, let me tell you, the experience is out of this world. All right, you know Spotify, right? Imagine you switch on your Spotify, you use the most expensive headphone. Okay, I have a very expensive headphone, okay, because I love listening to music. I have a very expensive noise cancelling Sony headphone. That thing cost me 1,007. Okay, 1,000 something for that bloody earphone. Okay, so you imagine how good the earphone is. You go there, this is even better. It's like you are listening to high version, you are listening to high quality Spotify right in front of you, and it sounds exactly the same. Okay, you use AirPod Pro, yeah, something like that. Okay, you imagine AirPod Pro but 3 times better. That's the quality there. You sit in front, the moment they start, oh my god, your ears will, wow, I can't describe the experience. I was there once for Star Wars. Any of you watch Star Wars? Any of you watch Star Wars? Okay, I'm a very big fan of Star Wars. Okay, when I was sitting on the front row, when they start, the Star Wars main theme, when they start, wow, I almost cried, man. Okay, I almost cried because it's so, I can't describe it. It's so amazing. It's right in front of you. Okay, so this is why, okay, you might say, sir, what makes them so special? Because that hall, this is what the job of a sound engineer is. They know how to make the hall, they know how to construct the hall in such a way that you don't hear any echo. Okay, all right, you might say, sir, I've not been to an orchestra before, I can't relate. Have you been to a cinema before? Have you been to a cinema before? Okay, when you walk into a cinema, it's quiet, right? It's quiet. Okay, sometimes when you're early, okay, before they start a movie, they will put commercials, right? They will put advertisements, right? Okay, even before the advertisements, when the light are still on, you sit inside, it's really quiet, right? Let's say you just got your popcorn, you walk from outside, you are talking loudly, suddenly you walk into the hall, you know how to lower your voice. You need to lower your voice because everyone is looking at you, because that's how quiet the theater is, okay, the cinema is. All right, so you might say, sir, why is the cinema so quiet? Because they are designed by sound engineer. They know a movie theater, they are designed that they are so quiet that you will not hear any echo. There's no echo in a cinema. I mean, it should be this way, right? Imagine you are watching an action movie. Okay, all the gun sound, fighting sound, explosion sound. Imagine echoes everywhere. Your ears will bleed. Right? Imagine what an awful experience that would be. But then it doesn't happen. Guys, I don't know whether you know this. Malaysia has one of the best cinema in the world. Okay, not only our cinema good, our cinema is also very cheap. Do you know that? Do you know that? Hey, you go to Taiwan, okay, I've been to Taiwan. You know how expensive their cinema ticket is? Okay, let me ask you. Have you guys been to cinema lately? How much do you pay for a movie? How much do you pay for a movie? Got so expensive, man. How much do you pay for a movie? Around 20 something, right? Or 50? Wow, why so expensive one? Why so expensive one? If you okay, sometimes it's 20 something, 30 something. I mean, if you don't buy the you guys are buying the good seat, is it? Okay, if I'm not okay, 50, okay, whatever. But the sound quality is really good, right? Okay, there's nothing to complain about Malaysia cinema. Malaysia cinema is really, if you go on Wednesday, it's even cheaper. Wednesday, I think it's 20, 30 something. Okay, if you go on Wednesday lah, and you don't buy those hot movies lah, you buy those if the movie is still new, of course it's expensive. Okay, if you go to Taiwan, you know how expensive it is. Guys, if you go to Taiwan, okay, first of all, their cinema quality is like shit. Okay, all the other movies all Tamil. Okay, okay, fair enough then. Okay, if you go to Taiwan, first of all, their cinema quality is like shit. Okay, have you seen this logo before? THX. Have you seen this before? Hey, most of our movie theater, our cinema is certified by THX. Okay, it is a sound engineering company. That means if your cinema is okay, and there's one more, Dolby Digital. Dolby Atmos. Have you seen this logo? Right? I mean, when you go to a movie, you will see this Dolby Digital, this logo. Have you? Have you? And if you watch that Atmos one, you pay more. All right, you have to add like $10 more to get this Atmos one. All right, so what does this Dolby means? This Dolby is an sound engineering company. So if your cinema is certified by Dolby, you know the sound is good, really good. Okay, you cannot buy this at home, right? That's the difference. Okay, I don't care how awesome your home theater system is, you can never get cinema quality, okay, because this is Dolby Digital quality. All right, if you go to Taiwan, you don't see this. Okay, you don't see this. Okay, first of all, Taiwan cinema quality is not as good as us. Okay, in fact, it's quite shitty, and not to mention their movie ticket is really expensive. Do you know watching a movie in Taiwan is at least 100 and above? At least. That is for one ticket. Okay, so let's say you watch those blockbuster first tier movie. Okay, let's say you are watching Doctor Strange. Okay, you are watching Doctor Strange. Okay, when it first come out, everyone is watching it, right? Malaysia, you go and watch, it's like, I don't know, 30 something, 40 something, but Taiwan is at least 150. Ringgit, 150 ringgit. You are paying 3 times more for worse quality. So this is why Taiwan, they really envy us Malaysian because we have really good cinema. Okay, because for them, watching movie is really expensive. Okay, and then here we are making noise. Why is watching movie so expensive? Blah blah blah. You try to go overseas, you will know. All right, stuff in Malaysia cheap. Yeah, I agree. Malaysia stuff is cheap and it's good quality. Okay, so if you are interested in this, next time you can go and study and become a sound engineer. Okay, if you are interested in this it's mostly a guy thing girls not really interested one. Okay, anyway, so let's look at detecting sound. Okay, let's finish this today. Okay, so let's look at detecting sound. So who detects your sound? That will be our ear. Right, your ear detects your sound. So let's look at our human ear. So sound waves are detected by our ears. Okay, so this is your ear. Okay, guys, your ear is really complicated. It's a really delicate system. So the vibration travels down the ear canal. Okay, so where is the ear canal? What is canal? Canal is like a corridor. You know what's a corridor, right? You walk down your, we don't, the US, they don't call it corridor, they call it hallway lah. So it's like a hallway down. So when sound comes into your ear, okay, by the way, this part here is called your pinna. Okay, pinna. Why do our ear need this pinna? Can you see this thing? It is shaped like a cone. Your ear, okay, don't think that your ear is shaped like this for no reason one. You might say, sir, why our ear so complicated, got all this folding one? It is purposefully designed this way. Your ear is designed in such a way, it looks like a cone, so that it can collect as much sound as possible. Can you see that? Do you know human hearing is very awesome? Your ear is very awesome. You might say, sir, why do we need such a sensitive hearing for? Last time, our ancestors used ears to hunt. All right? Ear is one of our main hunting organ. You use your ear to hunt. That's why we have very good hearing. Okay, very good hearing. So when wave comes to our ear, they will travel down the ear canal, which is the corridor here. And then the vibrating air pushes on the eardrum. You know what's the eardrum, right? You know what's the eardrum, right? There's a drum here. We call it an eardrum. So when sound hits the eardrum will vibrate. The eardrum will vibrate. So when the eardrum vibrates, okay, so that it vibrates. So now the eardrum, it will pass the sound to, can you see these 3 small bones? Okay, these 3 small bones. By the way, these bones, they're called ossicles. Okay, they're called ossicles. C-L-E-S. All right, you're not learning this, guys. This is not in your syllabus. Don't memorize this. I'm just telling you for fun. All right, so these 3 bones they are called ossicles. You might say, sir, why do we need these 3 bones left? What do we need these 3 bones for? Guys, these 3 bones they are to amplify your sound. You know what's amplify? You know what's an amplifier? You know what's amplify? Amplify means to make the sound louder so when you hear a very soft sound, you can still hear what the sound is, because these 3 bones, they amplify the sound. They make the sound louder so they can hear it. And then they will pass the vibration to this. Can you see this thing that looks like a snail? This snail looking thing is called a cochlea. This is our main part. So inside your cochlea inside is all fluid. Inside your cochlea, there's liquid inside. Okay, so this thing is filled with water. Okay, so it's filled with water, and then this inside this water, there's hair. Okay, there's a tiny hair. All right, so when the vibration comes to the cochlea, the liquid will vibrate. Okay, just now the bones vibrate, now the liquid vibrate. When the liquid vibrate, the hair will sense the vibration and send it to your nerve. All right, and send it to your nerve. So the nerve will send it to where? Send it to your brain Send it to your brain so your brain can hear something All right, so let me repeat this. So sound wave goes into your canal, hits on your eardrum, pass it to your bone, pass it to your cochlea, the liquid vibrate, send it to your nerve, send it to your brain. Okay, so guys, if you damage your eardrum, okay, let me finish this. Okay, so the vibration travels through liquid, stimulating the nerve cell inside the cochlea, so stimulate the nerve. This sends electrical signal along the nerve to the brain, so they will send signal to the brain. So now your brain can hear something. All right. So guys, let's talk about damage to your ear. Let's say you are listening to very loud sound that you break your eardrum. You tear your eardrum. Can you repair it? Can you repair your eardrum if you break it? Any of you heard of torn eardrum before? Right. So for example, if you are listening to an earphone, suddenly there's your earphone explode, okay, your eardrum will tear. Okay, your eardrum will just be torn in half. Guys, this is small matter. If you tear your eardrum, you can always go and repair it. You can go to the doctor, you can go for surgery, they will sew this thing back. It's like sewing your torn clothes. They will sew this thing back for you. But if you damage the inside of your ear, this is the inner ear. If you damage your inside of your ear, that is permanent. Okay, that is permanent. If you got ear infection, let's say there's virus growing here, or you have such a high fever that you damage your cochlea, that is forever. If you damage your nerve, you damage your cochlea, you might lose your hearing. Do you know this? Do you know this? You know Beethoven is like this, right? Hey, Beethoven I think he lost hearing in one ear first, and then before he died, I think the last few years before he died, he kind of lost like both sides of his hearing. Okay, but he can still compose. He can still compose. You know Moonlight Sonata? Any of you listen to classical music? He composed Moonlight Sonata when he was almost fully deaf. That's why he's Beethoven. Guys, imagine you are fully deaf, you have no idea, you cannot hear anything, you can still write songs. Okay? Because just by looking at the notes, he know what he's writing. You see? That's why some people they are okay. That's why he's Beethoven. Freaking crazy, man. Imagine you are almost blind, you want to be an art, you can still draw something out. Okay, that's something like that. All right. So when you damage your cochlea, I'm sorry, this is forever. All right, but if your cochlea is not fully damaged, is a little bit damaged, but you cannot hear something very loudly, have you seen something called, it's not mentioned here, have you seen something called a hearing aid? Have you seen a hearing aid before? Maybe one of your friend is wearing this. Do you know what's a hearing aid? They wear this behind their ear. Can you see? So this is for people who have very weak cochlea. Okay, this thing is to amplify the sound. Just like the three bones, they will make the sound louder. Because for some people, their hearing is damaged, they cannot hear very soft sound. Or for very old people, if let's say you're very old, I'm sure your grandma or your grandpa, if they're very old, they cannot hear that well already. So they might need to wear this hearing aid. So this hearing aid's job is it's like a mic and a speaker. They will amplify the sound so you can hear, what you're trying to say. So this is for people with very weak hearing. Okay, but if you're fully deaf, this thing will not work. Okay, because when you're fully deaf, that means the nerve is damaged. No matter how loud I make the sound, you still cannot hear anything. All right, so this is our ear. Okay, this is our ear, and you have both sides of your ear because we need both sides to recognize where's the direction. All right, I'm sure when you watch your movie, sound will go from left to right, so you know where the explosion is. So that's why you need both sides of your ear. Okay, so this is our ear. Okay, so take care of your ear, guys. Take care of your ear. Please don't listen to loud music. Okay, do you know this? Do you know this? If you must use earphone, if you are using an earphone, please make it as soft as you can. All right. I mean, not so soft that you cannot hear anything, but loud enough that you can hear, but not so loud that you will damage your ear. All right. Hearing damage is permanent. Hearing damage is permanent. If you use earphone all the time and you switch your thing very loud, if you listen to very loud music, your ear will get older really fast. okay, will get older really fast. Do you know there's a hearing test? Later, if you are free, you can go and do this test. It's called a hearing test. I go and listen to this. I go and listen to this hearing test. I think that's the YouTube one. Are there? Listen to your hearing test. You can roughly tell how old your ear are there. The third one. How old are your ears? You see, you go and do this test. See if your ear matches your age. So why do I say this? Because I have a friend. He is 20 something. He's 20 something, but his hearing is already 40. Okay, he is 20 something, but his ears are already 40. Okay, do you know why? Because he's a drummer. He's a drummer. He plays drum for a living. So as you know, when you play drum, drums are very loud. Okay, so under long-term loud noise all the time, okay, his ear just got older. Okay, so you cannot avoid this because this is his job. All right, but you try not to listen to loud music all the time because when you damage your ear, your ear will get older. So this thing is not reversible. Okay, he never wear headphone. Oh, I don't think so. I don't think so. Or some drummers they wear headphone, right? Or you can just buy a digital drum. Okay, because last time I got such thing like digital drum one. Okay, hey, nowadays because of technology if you're buying a drum set and you scared your neighbor will make noise you scared your neighbor will come and complain you just buy a digital drum lah. Digital drum got no sound one. You just wear your earphone, you can hear everything. But last time I got such thing one, like 10-20 years ago where got digital drum one? If you want a drum, then you buy a drum. All right, and I don't know whether you know this, a drum is freaking loud. All right, and it depends on what genre you play lah. If you just play normal soft rock, then it's okay. But if you play things like heavy metal or any hard rock like Guns and Roses types of rock, okay, you know who's Guns and Roses? Okay, then you then you will get some kind of hearing damage. Okay, and especially if you perform, okay, because when you perform, you don't really care. You play drums like all the time, so that's how you get hearing damage. Same thing happens to DJ. Do you know that? Okay, you know DJs, right? Like Hardwell, Avicii, or Marshmello, or whoever okay, whoever DJ they get the same type of hearing loss also. They damage their hearing the same way also because they need to perform. Okay, and they perform like in so many events they will get some kind of hearing damage. This is occupational hazard. You cannot avoid one. Okay, occupational hazard. It's like if you play football for a living, if your job is an athlete, you are prone to get injured. So it's an occupational hazard you cannot avoid. So what to do? Wear earplug. Okay, but as a DJ, how can you wear earplug? Your job is to listen, right? So occupational hazard you cannot avoid. All right. Anyway, so let's look at our human hearing and limitation. Okay, so please remember this. Please memorize this. Our human ear can detect frequency of 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz if you are young. Okay, if you are young. As you age, you won't be able to hear 20,000. Maybe by the time you are like, let's say you are 80 years old, let's say you get to live to 80 maybe your hearing limit is like 100 to 15,000 already. Okay, can you see the range just kind of got smaller? You used to be able to hear this range. Your ear is functioning very well. And then after, years and years and years, it's just like your eyesight as you get older, you cannot see things clearly anymore. So same thing, as you get older, your ear don't function as well. So your hearing just kind of decrease. So this is why when you talk to old people, they cannot really hear you. Do you know that? Do you know that? You talk to like really old people, they cannot hear you because their ears, they're not very well already. So this is like part of life, we cannot avoid. All right, so we can only hear this. Anything above or under, we cannot hear. And anything above 20,000, we call it ultrasound. Okay, any frequency below or above this frequency are undetectable by human ears. Sound above 20,000 hertz, they are called ultrasound. Okay, like for example, dolphins you see how awesome dolphin is. Dolphins, they can listen from 75 to 150,000. You look at their range. Absolutely crazy, man. 75 to 150,000. Okay, that's like 7 times of us. 7 times. This is why when dolphins they make sound, we cannot listen. We hear nothing because that's ultrasound. Okay, and even dogs are better than us. Like, if I'm not mistaken, dogs are like 40,000. Okay, dogs are 40,000. Okay, ours, compared to these, we kind of suck. Okay, this is why they use dolphin to detect bombs. Do you know this? Some dolphins they are trained to detect bombs in the ocean. Okay, because they can detect that high frequency. We cannot, we hear nothing. All right, so this is what we call ultrasound. Okay, you might say, hey sir, isn't ultrasound that thing you use to scan the stomach one? You know when your mom is pregnant, right? When your mom is pregnant, how do they scan for the baby? They use ultrasound, right? Same technology. Same technology. We use the ultrasound, you see, to do this thing called sonogram. Sonogram. We actually stole this technology from bats. Because bats, they use ultrasound. Okay, and like dolphins, they use ultrasound. So we kind of stole their technology and we use it on us. You see, amazing. All right, so ultrasound is used by some animals such as bats to detect obstacle in front of them. We call it echolocation. Bats and dolphin also use ultrasound to detect prey. Okay, so bats and dolphin they have like one of the best hearing in the world. Okay, because they have ultrasound. All right, so this is why even bats they don't have very good eyesight. They can still know where their prey is. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna our time is almost up. Okay, I'll finish this next week. Okay, so if you have the time, you can go home and try the exercise. Okay, I will discuss with you next week. All right, so I hope you learned something new today. Okay, very interesting chapter. Okay, I will see you guys the same time next week. Okay, I wish you have a happy Tuesday. I will see you next week. All right, so see you. Good night. Take care. Bye-bye.